Who wants to go to Columbia University? That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America, visit areyouontracktogetin.com. Again, that's areyouontracktogetin.com, at which you will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. Who are the students that are attracted to the concept or the idea of being an undergraduate student at Columbia University? And it really comes down to 3 buckets of individuals, and these are not mutually exclusive. Some students fall into multiple buckets, but some students only fall into one bucket. But basically, these are the 3 buckets of students who today, knowing everything that is public about Columbia University, want to attend Columbia University. Bucket number 1 are students who are ideologically with the program at Columbia. The program, of course, being absolute hatred of the United States of America outside of New York City, and hatred of white people, basically. I mean, that's basically the program at Columbia. It is a fully captured ideological institution. And even though there are white individuals who are employed at Columbia and white individuals who go to Columbia, the overarching ideology is full of anti-white hatred at this point. So you see that when you go to an information session, and the first thing they do is a land acknowledgement, and it just escalates from there. So the first group of students who really want to go to Columbia are like-minded students, people who want to be with like-minded professors and like-minded students who are ideologically far, far, far to the left. That's group number 1. Group number 2 are students who are international students, who are full pay international students who either have antipathy for the United States or just disregard entirely for the United States and are just using Columbia for status, and who are willing to write, basically $100,000 check per year. And because they're applying to Columbia, Columbia can see they're not applying for need-based aid as American citizens because they're not American citizens, and they're going to get real big payouts from these families. And Columbia is attracted to these students, and there are a lot of students like this who are attracted to Columbia. They want to be in a big city with a direct flight to their international capital, wherever they're coming from. And New York has a lot of those, right? So New York City is a popular destination. Columbia is the most prestigious school traditionally in New York City. So it's sort of a marriage made in heaven. A lot of international students who are either neutral about the United States or have a visceral hatred for the United States also are attracted to Columbia, and Columbia is highly attracted to them. And then the final bucket of students who want to go to Columbia University as a first-year student these days are the students who couldn't get into their first choice school. And that, whether their first choice school was Princeton, their first choice school was Penn or Harvard or Yale or what have you. I mean, there's all different reasons students are attracted to schools, but lots of students who are generally in the game academically, athletically, extracurricularly to get into a highly selective American institution who just couldn't get into their first choice are willing and able to go to Columbia as sort of a consolation prize. So those are the 3 groups of kids who are really attracted to, or basically signing on the dotted line these days. And again, it's an interesting mix of students, but what you'll find when you go there at Columbia is that really is the truth. I mean, these are the 3 groups. There are very, very few individuals who are going to Columbia for some academic excellent reason, without falling into one of these 3 buckets, because a lot of other institutions at this point would present a less ideologically fraught environment to pursue academic excellence in a particular field. And of course, I feel bad for the students in particular who are interested in engineering, because traditionally engineering is less ideologically, of a discipline. But even engineering at Columbia these days is completely ideologically captured. The institution itself, even if not every individual at the institution at Columbia, is simmering with hatred of particular groups. When the administration is, it filters down to the way in which, for instance, students within the engineering program at Columbia experience daily life. So no person who's clear thinking and is sort of aware of the situation would have Columbia at the top of his or her list if all they want to do for 4 years is pursue the best academic experience and the most rigorous or advanced academic experience. So they'd look at Caltech, they look at MIT if they're looking for STEM, or looking at other top schools in engineering, if they're looking specifically engineering, if they're looking at the liberal arts, every other institution out there basically that's strong in the liberal arts is less of a fraught environment right now than Columbia. So basically, again, those are the three buckets of students these days who are interested in Columbia. So just keep that in mind. I mean, this could obviously change
On a dime at Columbia University, because the winds are changing fast in the United States of America. As we all know, there's been a recent hack of Columbia University admissions data, and that, of course, proved that there has been ongoing pervasive discrimination at Columbia ever since the affirmative action ruling at the Supreme Court in 2023 that was supposed to stop that. Again, owing to the fact that the people in charge did not change, and they have very strong ideological beliefs that they were going to implement one way or the other, come heck or high water, regardless of the rule of law in the United States of America. We also, of course, know that there are memos and settlements coming at a fast pace these days from the federal government and between the Trump administration and Columbia University. So this could all very well change as soon as the 25-26 admissions cycle, and the class of 2030 at Columbia University could look very different than the class of 2029 and the class of 2028 and the class of 2027 at Columbia University. I don't think it's going to look that much different because, again, there would need to be wholesale purges of the personalities currently ruling the roost at Columbia University for things to change that dramatically ideologically in terms of the personalities being brought in, whether it be hired or admitted to Columbia University. And it's one thing to sign some sort of settlement with the federal government. It's quite another to go against one's deeply held beliefs, core beliefs, frankly. And that's what many Columbia University power players would be doing in order to really turn this ship around, and quickly. So we'll see. I mean, again, there will obviously be people who resign or move on to different positions, and therefore new people will be hired, and maybe they won't be as ideologically in the game as the ones who are leaving. Who knows? And so maybe as soon as the class of 2030 at Columbia University, we'll get a whole new flavor of Columbia University student that is very distinct from what came before. But, you know, this is going to take some years to work out, I think, one way or the other. But maybe I'm wrong. We will see. But as of right now, I just want you all to have this video as a point of reference as to the type of students Columbia University was bringing in all the way up until 2025. Again, maybe this will change from 2025 forward. Old habits are really hard to break on the student and parent side as well. You know, I encourage, of course, a 17-year-old red-blooded American young man in St. Petersburg, Florida, who is pro-Trump, pro-MAGA, you know, to apply to Columbia University for fall 2026 admission. But is it likely that such an individual will? Probably not. But again, I encourage you, if you are currently a son or a daughter of a farmer in Iowa or Nebraska, and you are fourth generation Republican, you know, by all means apply to Columbia University. You would obviously be adding a great deal of diversity to the Columbia University undergraduate population. But do you want to really do that? Most likely at this point, you're hedging your bets and are not going to be so keen to want to go to Manhattan, let alone Columbia University in the city of New York. But again, maybe that will change faster actually than the disposition and preferences of the actual people making the decisions. Again, I think that for all these years that Columbia has been discriminating and self-selecting of individuals of very particular ideologies to attend, there have been white and Asian students in particular of all different ideological bents trying to get into Columbia. But because they have tried and in most cases failed for years from particular backgrounds and demographics and dispositions, a lot of the people who would add immediate diversity to Columbia University are at this point unlikely to, at a drop of the hat, start applying in mass to Columbia. But maybe that will happen. And we will we will have to see. Again, I encourage it. If you're attracted to studying up in Morningside Heights at Columbia University, by all means, no matter your color, no matter your size, no matter your sexual preference, no matter your state or country of residency, I encourage you to apply if you think you're up for it. And maybe they can just start pulling applicants from very different backgrounds now that they aren't going to hopefully be discriminating. But I think they are still going to be discriminating in one way, shape, or form, not just based off of academic merit, which they always should have been discriminating in favor of academic merit, but they're still going to be picking people who speak to them. Let's just put it that way in the admissions office. And if the admissions officers have not changed that much, it's only going to change so much. Before we go, I want to remind you that I've launched a new course, 17 Silly Mistakes That Even Ivy League Applicants Make on the Common App. This course gives you the information you need to make sure that your application doesn't fall down on the job where so many applications sadly do. The undeniable fact of the matter is that many strong students who should be strong college applicants are making silly mistakes on the Common App. And guess what? This is even happening to students aiming for Ivy League admission. So if you are serious about earning admission to the Common App colleges on your list, make it a priority to enroll in my course, 17 Silly Mistakes That Even Ivy League Applicants Make on the Common App. You'll be glad you did. And when you've finished your Common App and want to know if it's as strong as possible and whether or not in its current condition your chances of admission are impressive, inconclusive, or inadequate, you need my pre-read. Getting my pre-read now means having me review your entire application, just like an admissions officer or admissions committee will review it later, and receiving by email no later than the time you reserve a comprehensive report highlighting what's working and what's not on your full Common App and one Common App supplement. If you've yet to submit your Common App, my pre-read may motivate you to make adjustments to it before your deadline. If you've already submitted your Common App, my pre-read will prepare you for what I deem to be your likely admissions outcome at the institution in question. To purchase my pre-read now, go to mypreread.com. Again, that's mypreread.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, visit my website, which is collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.